So the burning of crop residue is only one part of the issue. And before we start blaming each other's countries and absolving ourselves of responsibility and action, it is a real issue. It is a big pollutant, and it forms highly polluting black carbon, which has very adverse effects on human health. So getting that out of the way, stop burning it in your area. Let's give that a start, right? So that's one of the things. Then the other thing is that toxic metals, there are cement, plastic, and other factories that are already many of us from the Climate Caucus were able to shut down. Either we ask them to change their technology, which reduces the sulfur content, and you go from black to white smoke like you do in the zigzag technology in the brick kilns. Those two can be converted. Half of them in the Islamabad area have been converted. So I think it's doable. The environment protection agencies are critical actors in this particular area, and they must be made far more, they must be given teeth, honestly, to act autonomously, to be able to hold a particular actors. If there's any unit, industrial or residential, emitting the kind of smoke we're talking about, toxic smoke, then they should be able to take action without anyone intervening over their heads that this is a powerful entity. Because there are many residential areas using the homes, clustering homes as small industrial units. They're misusing the land, and that is also what's going on. Plastic bags and resin, etc., all being produced now. So that's brick kilns and industries. Thirdly, you have, and of course, the burning of agriculture residue. Now, you can also start very simply looking at the fuel being used. Now, that's essential. That's been something that's been talked about for a long time. And you need to shift from a minimum Euro 5 by 2025. These are standards and gradations of fuel as to how much sulfur there is, and other gradations of what pollutes our atmosphere. Now, we can do that because work has started. There are a few stations that already do that, use that fuel. If it is made mandatory, and for that, you don't need lawmaking. You simply need the province to say, this is mandatory by X time, give people 3 months, 4 months, whatever it takes to make that conversion and start using that fuel. Now, if that's a problem, I think we need to hear about it. But do you hear about it? No, I don't hear about it. I'm not hearing about it anywhere that we have to import it or it's a grade we can't manage. No, at least start talking about it. Fourthly, there are simple things to do for vehicles, such as tune your vehicles. Now, that's entirely doable. That can be imposed very easily by local government. You don't have to set up a whole new policing structure for it. As we have advised, all you need to do is, say, for instance, when people go to get their motor vehicle sticker or tax, right? The inspection goes up. Have you tuned your vehicles? Do you have the polluting silencers and all that in your vehicle, in your rickshaws? Yes, no, you get your sticker based on that. Very simple. That in itself, that low-hanging fruit action will give you a lot of payback in reducing the pollution in your air. Then you have waste, okay? You can immediately, I've already talked about ban burning waste, but I think at least 10 cities can do that by 2025 with proper landfill sites, and start sort of making plans for waste to energy models. At least start the journey. Once you start the journey, then there will automatically be vendors and manufacturers, and there's many biogas people interested, industrial agents interested, and I believe we can do that if we even look at the waste to energy technology. So it gives you a virtuous industrial cycle to move. You're going into cleaner energy, and you're also reducing the burning of waste. Lastly, you have residential. This is again one of the easier, less big macro things to do, which won't cost you $1 billion. What you need to do is simply start looking for eco-friendly building codes and materials to improve indoor quality. And also when you're cooking using cook stoves, you try not to burn the high emission, the kerosenes, the bad, the wood, especially that people pick up in semi-rural and peri-urban areas. A lot of that is still happening. So you're not only reducing your forest cover by denuding the area of timber and burning it, you're also adding to your indoor air pollution. So that all is very important: building codes, indoor pollution, the cook stoves you're using. And if some very small subsidy is given to these conversions, it will happen, because most of the actors and decision makers in this situation, in homes, in lower income homes, which are using these cook stoves that pollute and actually even kill sometimes when they explode, are women. And women are actually fairly rational actors when it comes to saving their families or to saving the money, and their disposable income is very tight, and they want to make the better decision in the longer run. They're better users of natural resources. They naturally conserve things better because they have to carry the water, grow the food, and actually save the food. They're not blowing it, say, on a satta market on the weekend. So I think these are easy to implement, and a lot of it is just the governance of existing codes. If you are able to implement or just put mind to it, if the government starts messaging, if it starts giving importance the whole year round, you will see a shift. And I believe it is very important, because public health is related entirely to the toxins in your air and water. So with these words, I don't want to go on. I'm sorry, it was very, very practical minded, but I think that's what's needed at this point. There's no, there shouldn't be a smog of policy on this, that oh, this is very difficult, we have to put in huge, detoxifiers. No. You have to take actions. And the other thing you need to do is just start putting in air quality measurement in the air. Now, in many cities, I was in Faisalabad the other day, the citizens had actually started putting them up, collecting the money and pooling their resources and putting up an air quality measuring instrument up. So it was stating the air quality on X road and Y road, and big businesses were part of the solution. So, the CM can call a meeting, all the big businesses come, they know that eventually they will be taxed, and their exports will be taxed if they don't comply. So standards have to start changing for climate compliance in many ways, more ways than one. And emissions and reduction of pollutants is one of them. And I think we need to bring all citizens on board, but particularly big business. You start with that. So should government, so should the public sector, and we will get to a path where the journey begins and you start seeing change being adopted. Citizens will then also start thinking about it. Right now, there isn't any thinking, there's just panic. And I don't think that works, to suddenly start saying, okay, let's get rain cloud. Can we afford that? Is that a permanent solution? No, you need sustainable solutions. And those are the most, sometimes often the easiest to implement. And just because it doesn't cost too much or it's round the corner doesn't mean it's the best solution. It's not the best solution. So it's time for us to look at that. There are some very expensive solutions which first world countries are looking at and using. We will have to get to those, but this is, as I said, is a journey that Pakistan needs to begin, especially the cities. So thank you for doing this. I hope this is what you needed, and I look forward to hearing about the outcomes of your meeting today.